In this video, we're going to look at addition and subtraction of rational expressions. But just a quick reminder here, you got 3 over 7, let's say 4 over 7. You should know that you cannot add or subtract fractions unless the denominators are the same. So here we have the same denominator, 3 over 7 and 4 over 7. If that's the case, we bring down the denominator. Don't do anything with that. But we add the numerators. 3 and 4 gives me 7. And then we simplify or reduce. Well, the 7's cancel out or divide out, so this comes out to 1. No problem when the denominators are the same. Now, if you have different denominators, let's say we have 1/3, we want to subtract 3/4 from that. Now, with numbers, you can, if they're small numbers, you can easily find the lowest common denominator. When you're dealing with rational expressions, algebraic expressions, sometimes you have to factor those denominators. Know the factors. For example, 4 is 2 times 2. So we write a common denominator over a long division line here. So we want to find the smallest number that 3 and 4 will divide. So this denominator really should have all the different factors that appear in any one denominator. The most times it appears in each. So the factors of 4 are 2 and 2, and then the other denominator has one factor of 3, so those should all be included as our least common denominator. So that's just 2 times 2 is 4 times 3, so this should be 12. And I can put the factors in there. And then basically what we do is you say 3 goes into 3 goes into 12, 4 times, and then multiply the numerator by that. We get 4. Then minus, bring down the minus. 4 goes into 12, 3, and then we multiply 3 times 3, we get 9. Now we can combine. 4 minus 9 is -5, and that's over 12. And the last step is to reduce it or simplify. -5 and 12 have no factors in common, so that would be your answer, -5 over 12. So notice, that's the same thing over here, saying, okay, common denominator is 12, so I have to make these denominators into a 12. So I could say, okay, let's multiply this one by 4. That'll give me a 12. But if I do that, I have to multiply the numerator. All we're doing is multiplying by 1, because 4 over 4 is 1. 1 times 1/3 doesn't change it. And here, how do I make this 4 into a 12? Well, multiply it by 3. That's okay, but you got to multiply the numerator also. So notice, 4 over 12 gives me what I have over here. Minus 9 over 12 gives me what I have over here. So that's another way to look at this. So let's go ahead and clear this. Now we have to do that with the rational expressions. So problem 1, we have x plus 1 over x minus 3 plus 2x minus 3 over x minus 3. So notice the denominators are the same. So all you're going to do is bring down the denominator, x minus 3, and add the numerators. You're combining terms. You add the x's with the x's. They have to be like terms. The numbers with the numbers. And what do we get? Well, x and 2x is 3x. 1 minus 3 is -2. And then denominator, you just bring it down. And then sometimes you might have to factor the numerator. Because if the numerator has any factors in common with the denominator, you have to cancel them out or divide them out. So it has to be in the simplest form. The answer has to be reduced down. So if the denominator is the same, whether you have 2 fractions or 3, all you have to do is add or subtract the numerators, whatever the operation is. In this case, it was addition. Problem 2. Notice this one has x over x minus 2 plus 2 over 2 minus x. Well, the denominators are almost the same. This is x minus 2, and the other one is 2 minus x, but they're not the same. X minus 2 is not the same as 2 minus x. But how can we make them the same? Well, all we have to do is change the signs, right? Make that a plus and this a minus, and it becomes this one over here. So we can do that by multiplying the numerator and the denominator by a -1. Okay, you can always multiply the numerator or the denominator by a number, as long as you multiply by the same number. So what I did here is multiply the numerator of that second fraction by a -1. I got this -2. The denominator multiplied by -1 makes it a -2 plus x. I just switched it around. Instead of -2 plus x, I wrote it x minus 2. That's the same thing. Denominator is the same. I just add the numerators. X minus 2. But of course, they're not like. So you have to just leave it as x minus 2. Or x plus a -2. So we get this after I combine. Okay, x minus 2 has to stay x minus 2. But notice, now I have to simplify x minus 2 over x minus 2. Those just cancel, just like 2 over 2 is 1. 5 over 5 is 1. So this simplifies to 1. Again, anytime, stop the video. If I'm going too fast or you want to try it on your own, stop it and see if you can do it. Problem 3. Now here, I have 4x over x squared minus 4 minus 2 over x squared plus x minus 6. Well, here the denominators are not the same. So my first step would be to factor the denominators. X squared minus 4 is the difference of squares. We've done something like that already. X squared plus x minus 6, that's a trinomial. So we use the method for trinomials. So what do we get? Well, x squared minus 4, difference of squares. So you factor into the difference in the sum of the square roots. Square root of x squared is x, square root of 4 is 2. We get x minus 2, x plus 2. The trinomial, x squared plus x minus 6, those are the easiest ones to factor. When the coefficient of the square term is 1, we simply find factors of minus 6 that add up to 1. So in this case, it's going to be 3 and minus 2. 3 times minus 2 is minus 6. Minus 2 and 3 add up to 1. That's it. So now what I want to do is find the common denominator. What's the common denominator here? Well, the common denominator, or lowest common denominator, has to contain all the factors that appear in any of the denominators, the most number of times that each factor appears. So x minus 2 appears once here, once here. So that has to be one factor of the LCD. X plus 2, once here, 0 times here. Well, the most number is x plus 2, so it has to be there. X plus 3 once here, 0 times over here, it has to be included. So the next step then, I write the common denominator, all the different factors that appear. Now, had one of these had a square exponent of 2, then you'd have to include it over here also. But they all have powers of 1. And then what we do here, LCD is x minus 2, x plus 2, x plus 3. Look at the first fraction. What factors are missing? Look. Least common denominator, x minus 2, x plus 2. It's got x minus 2, x plus 2. What's missing? X plus 3. So in order for this fraction to work, I have to multiply the top and the bottom by x plus 3. That's why I got this x plus 3 right here. In the second one, common denominator has x minus 2, x plus 2, x plus 3. This one has x minus 2, x plus 3. It's missing the x plus 2. That's why we have an x plus 2 here. Notice, if I write this first term here, product here, into over this, it gives me the first fraction over here. This over this cancels the like factors here, gives me this. So now all I have to do is multiply this out. Numerator and combine terms. Here I multiply by 4x. I got 4x squared. 4x times 3 is 12x. Minus 2 times x is minus 2x. Minus 2 times 2 is a minus 4. And then we combine. 12x minus 2x. Those are the only like terms. This gives me a 10x. So over here then, I got, adding these two here in the middle, I got 4x squared plus 10x minus 4. And then we look to see if we can factor this 4x squared plus 10x minus 4. Well, the only thing I can factor out is a 2. Each of these has a factor of 2. So take out the 2 from the 4x squared. I get 2x squared in the parentheses. A 2 from the 10 leaves me the 5x there, 10x. And the 2 from the minus 4 gives me a minus 2. And this 2x squared plus 5x minus 2 doesn't factor. If it had some factors common to the denominator, we would do the cancellation. But in this case, that's as far as we can go. So that is the answer to that one. Okay, problem 4. We get 2 over, and the first denominator is x plus 2 squared times x minus 1. And the next one then have minus 6, and the denominator is x plus 2, x minus 1 squared. So first you have to determine what the LCD is. So look at the factors. I have x plus 2 here to the second. I have x plus 2 here to the first. So this one has 2 factors of x plus 2. This one has 1. You always include the most in any denominator. So the denominator should have, or the LCD I should say, the LCD, or lowest common denominator, should have 2 factors of x plus 2. This has 1 factor of x minus 1. This one, the second one, has two factors of x minus 1. So the LCD should contain two factors. Always include the largest number. Otherwise, one will divide into it and the other one won't, because you're trying to find the smallest number that both denominators will divide. So over here then, common denominator x plus 2, two factors. X minus 1, two factors is the most number of times. And then you have to just multiply the 2 here. What factor is missing? What factors are missing? X plus 2 to the second has it. X minus 1, we need two factors of x minus 1. So that's why we put this x minus 1 here next to the 2. Then the next one, minus 6, has a factor of x plus 2, two factors of x minus 1. It's supposed to have two factors of x plus 2, because that's what the LCD has. So that's why we put this right here. So now you just multiply. 2 times x, 2 times minus 1, minus 6 times x, minus 6 times 2. And we get this. You just combine your terms. 2x minus 6x gives a minus 4x. Minus 3 times minus 12, minus 14. So there we have it. Minus 4x minus 14. And then what can we factor out of here? Negative 2 will go into the minus 4. It will go into the 14, minus 14 also. So I took out the negative 2. Left me with 2x plus 14. Notice minus 2 times 2x is minus 4. Minus 2 times 7, minus 14. Now we check to see if it can be reduced. Well, 2x plus 7 can be factored anymore. If this had the factor of x plus 2, we could divide out. But in this case, that's as far as we can go. So that is the answer to that one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.